Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. First of all, to get everything started, I hope you guys are having a wonderful good night, good evening, whatever time you decide to watch this. But as you can see, I have my Spider-Man shirt on today. I was filming. I'm getting back into my cosplay mode. I didn't film, I was gonna do some Peter Parker ones, but I did not film any on my TikTok, if you guys follow me on there as well, because I have this little gray spot here and it kind of makes me self-conscious, and I'm finally getting my hair done tomorrow. It's been a time. I cannot wait. I am so excited. But I just filmed some TikToks as Mary Jane, so this is my Mary Jane top. I'm gonna upgrade a bunch of my stuff coming up soon. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do because I still feel like I need like a little bit of a, when I get a new cosplay, usually it sparks like the want to make more content and to just create new things. And I have a lot of older cosplays that I love, but I haven't really done anything, obviously because my mom was sick, and then I had a whole bunch of other stuff going on, so I just wasn't comfortable doing it, and I was kind of in burnout. But that is not the purpose of today's video. Today's video is to talk to you guys about what we are going to be reading in the month of June. I am so excited for this month. But let's kick things off. I know I've said this one like, I don't know how many times, and looking at these, the amount that I put on my TBR is quite ambitious of myself. And my cat just jumped up on where I have you guys placed. That's okay. But the first one that I actually am almost done with is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This one, I don't know what it is. It's just taken me a while to get through. I did see, if you are a Disney person and you follow Shannon Marie, she said that this one put her in a reading slump and it took her forever to finish this. I feel like I'm on like page 400 and something, and I finally feel like it's picking up. There is a lot of like just slowness with this one. I don't really know why. I've heard the next one is like way faster, so I'm happy about that. But I did get back into this, and I think sometimes I get really intimidated when it's like really large books. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really feel like reading all of those. But to be honest with you, fantasy, like I said before, is my happy place, and it's where I originally made a lot of my, or like that's where from as a kid, sorry, as a kid, that's where I read most of my stuff, was through fantasy. So but yeah, so I'm almost done with this one actually. I tried to finish it last night, but I had work today, so I wasn't able to. But without further ado, let's get into the next video. Okay, I'm trying to do once a month, get into more like self-love, not self-love, self-care. I think we talked about this last month. But if you guys do not follow Jay Shetty, please go follow him immediately. I actually learned about him from my mom quite a few years ago. I don't remember how, so don't quote me on that. But this came out last year, and I like to listen to his podcast. I don't listen every week, but I loved the one. He had one with Tom Holland. He just has really good ones. He used to live his life as a Buddhist monk for, I think it was for 2 years, and then he brought like what he learned back out into the world. But you need to listen to that. You need to go listen to his podcast. I need to actually finish Think Like a Monk. I started it a few years ago and then never picked it back up again. Not because it was bad, I just didn't pick it back up again. But yeah, so this was his one that he came out with last year. He actually went on a book tour, but I unfortunately wasn't able to go. But it's called 8 Rules of Love, How to Find It, Keep It, and Let It Go. And I like it so far. I'm not that far in. I've literally made it like 20 pages in, but I really like him. I think he's really good, and it always makes me, I'm trying to kind of get back into like the things that I love. So a few years ago I was really big into manifesting and my Spider-Man and gaming and everything. In fact, my brother, he got the Spider-Man console and he came and helped me set up. He had another PS5, so he upgraded to the Spider-Man one when that came out, and then I paid him for his old one, so I have that set up and I'm so excited. And then I'm gonna go get some games, hopefully at GameStop this weekend. But yeah, it feels good to, I feel like I'm trying to slowly get back into like the things that I love, the makeup, the cosplay, content creating, and everything else. And it's, you know, it's a slow journey. Some days I still have bad days, but who doesn't have bad days? But moving on from this one, you should definitely pick this up. It's basically like a relationship advice and other things in here, and I find it really good so far, but I can't comment because I haven't read too much. The next one is one that a lot of people have been talking about. I saw Destiny Sidwell was talking about this. This is months and months ago. But I saw it in Barnes & Noble 2-3 months ago, and I picked it up, and so I was like, I want to put it on my TBR because I think the cover is absolutely beautiful. And it is The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen, and this is supposed to be phenomenal. First of all, this cover, I love like old school fantasy covers. There's actually one in here that they just upgraded it, and I think I'm gonna go to Barnes this weekend because I want it in the old covers. I just like that aesthetic more. No, there's no shade to books like ACOTAR, well this isn't ACOTAR, but Throne of Glass or any of those that they've changed how they look. I just like this because it reminds me of when I read Mortal Instruments and all those fantasy books as a kid. I just resonate more with these covers. It's not to say that the story is any different, it's just a freaking cover. I'm not trying to make it dramatic, I'm just telling you my preferences. But this one is supposed to be really good. Basically, I think, was this the one she said? No, it was a different one. That was a Carissa Broadbent book. Yeah, so let me read you guys the back. So it says, a warrior princess trained in isolation. It sounds like Elsa. Lara is driven by two certainties. The first is that King Aaron of the Bridge Kingdom is her enemy, and the second is that she'll be the one to bring him to his knees. This only route through a storm-ravaged world, the Bridge Kingdom enriches itself and deprives its rivals, including Lara's homeland. So when she's sent as a bride under the guise of peace, Lara is prepared to do whatever it takes to fracture its impenetrable defenses and the defenses of its king. Yet as she infiltrates her new home and gains a deeper understanding of the war to possess the bridge, Lara begins to question whether she's the hero or the villain. And as her feelings for Aaron transform from frosty hostility to fierce passion, Lara must choose which kingdom she'll save and which kingdom she'll destroy. So that sounds right up my alley. And this cover, you guys, I'm sorry I keep saying it, but this cover is like flipping gorgeous. I love it. Moving on to the next one. We'll take a brief fantasy break, but if you're gonna see, this video is very fantasy heavy because I feel like I told you guys in the last one, kind of a little bit of a romance rut right now. But that does not mean I'm gonna go read the next one by Carly Fortune, which is the Meet Me at the Lake one. This one came out, I think it was last summer, and I will read you the back of this one. It says, Fern Brookbanks has wasted far too much of her adult life thinking about Will Baxter. She spent just 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggravatingly attractive and idealistic artist. A chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long adventure in the city. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet again 1 year later. Fern showed up, Will didn't. At 32, Fern's life doesn't look at all how she once imagined it would. Instead of living in the city, Fern's back home, running her mother's lakeside resort, something she vowed never to do. The place is in disarray, her ex-boyfriend is the manager, and Fern doesn't know where to begin. She needs a plan, a lifeline. To her surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrives 9 years late, suitcase in tow, and an offer to help on his lips. Will may be the only person who understands what Fern's going through. But how could she possibly trust this man, this expensive suit, wearing Mirage, who seems nothing like the young man she met all those years ago? Will is hiding something and Fern's not sure she wants to know what it is. But 10 years ago, Will Baxter rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him now? So I have an idea to do a video basically for, it's been done like 100 times, so it's not like it's a secret video, but like a summer reads list for you guys. I have some other ones that I've read in the past that I'll bring up, but I want to get through all of her books and I get through a few more before I do a whole video on that. But since it is June, that is one of the videos that will be coming out, so stay tuned for that. But that is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. That is also on my TBR this month. Now let's get back into fantasy because, yeah. The next one is The Gilded Cage, which is the Prison Healer trilogy. This is the second one. I read the first one a couple months ago and I obsessed. Couldn't put it down. Super, super good. I'm not gonna read the back because I don't want to give away spoilers for the next one if you haven't, or the second one if you haven't read the first. But it's really, really good. I loved the first one. Basically, I think I explained it before in one of my reading wrap-ups that she is essentially what they call the first one, which is a prison healer. She works at this prison, and I just really liked the world. There's some really big plot twists in the other one that I did not see coming. I kind of like thought maybe there was some stuff we weren't getting, but all in all, like really, really good. At least I loved the first one, so I'm hoping I'll like the second one. yeah, and then I'll do a whole video on the series when I'm done, obviously, reading it because it's a trilogy. But I do have all 3 of them, so I have them all. This next one is the one that has actually been getting a lot of hype recently because they just redid the covers, and Barnes & Noble has kind of placed them front and center. At least I've seen quite a few BookTube people talking about them. I've actually heard about the series a long time ago, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I want to say give or take, maybe even 5. I don't remember. When did this one come out? I could be, maybe it wasn't out 5 years ago. Hold on. I just want to tell you guys so I know. Or not, maybe not. (2015), yeah, so it came out in 2015, so I have heard about it for a while. But they just redid the covers, and I don't love them as much as some other people do. I love this kind of a cover. So this is the Ember in the Ashes, excuse me, by Saba Tahir. And this one has been on my list of wanting to pick up for a very, very long time. Let me read you the back and then I'll explain kind of, yeah. So it says, Leia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Under the Martial Empire, defiance is met with death. Leia and her family do not challenge the Empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Leia's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Leia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Leia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. I've heard such good things about this for years, and it has honestly been on my radar for a very long time, but I hadn't bought it. So I was in Barnes & Noble probably a month ago, picked this up. Now everybody's talking about it again because they redid the covers. Well, I like this cover. This is what happened to me with Throne of Glass, and then they redid all of them, and I had the first one because I bought it a while ago, and I still have that one. That's like the Warrior Princess one, I think they call it. To make a very long story short, I wanted to go to Barnes & Noble this weekend because I already can't find a couple of the covers, and I'm kind of freaking out because I really, really like this cover. You say, what if you don't like the thing, Alex? Then I will donate it or something if I don't like it. If you didn't know, that's what I do. If I know I'm not gonna reread a book, I generally either donate it or I'll go sell it on Depop. Either way. I have 2 left for you guys. This one I actually started last summer before or after basically my ex's sister was getting married, and I took a book with me to read while I was in Michigan, and this is the book I took. It is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. First of all, can we talk about Chloe Gong, like in her covers? Because her covers, love them. Don't love that they're this little, I forget what they call this. It's not my favorite. But like, look at this. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Anyway, basically this is kind of like a version of a Romeo and Juliet retelling. When I tell you that I didn't finish this book last summer, obviously, because you can still see where the bookmark is, I've thought about this off and on since I stopped reading it. And you would ask, why haven't you picked up? I have no idea. I can't answer that question for you. All I can tell you is that I love this book, at least to the point that I've read. I'm like, how far am I in? I got 172. So, and there's, I think this is a duology, and then there's some other ones. But I really, really want to read the other ones. But apparently if you read, I think it's the Foul Lady Fortune series, if you get into those, it's a spoiler for this. So I need to finish this first before I buy those. But I really have been thinking about this for a long time, and I just want to get back to it. And I love Chloe Gong's writing. I like the way that she explains everything. I actually heard about these through, I've seen the covers before, but I heard about them through Sunny Kim. She is a fantastic booktuber on here. You guys need to check her out. I love her. She's fantastic. How many times can I say fantastic? Anyway, I just really like her, and her book recommendations are great. And she's the first person that's shown me kind of like a way to book journal that doesn't make me feel really overwhelmed. Because I see people make these really aesthetic book journals, and I kind of like freak myself out and get in my head about it, and I really want to start doing them. And she, the other day, had a video, and she was like, oh, that just is what I do. And I'm like, oh, that's much more my speed. Let's do that. Isn't that silly? Like, you know, sometimes. But the last one I have, a few people have talked about when it came out, I think it came out last month, and that is Five Broken Blades by May Corland. And I picked this one up ironically at Costco because look at that detail. They actually ended up, when I went to Barnes & Noble that weekend, they actually had it, but I just think it's beautiful. I'm not a big hardcover girl, but I love, like, I couldn't say no. Like, are you serious? Look at that artwork in the inside. And it was a book that sparked my interest. Basically, here, let me just read you the inner flap. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective: to kill the god King June. He has it coming. Under his merciless immortal hand, the nobles flourish while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness, from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder. They can agree on treachery. But for these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. Ooh. So, I just like that because I love the whole, like, assassin plot that's, like, just really interesting to me. Sorry, my cat is trying to attack my journal. But it's, I don't know. I know that Sarah Caroli read it and said she was kind of disappointed and she didn't really like it. But that's why reading is so interesting, because some people like stuff and you love it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things, guys. But this is the last one in my TBR for this month. I say the last one as if, like, I don't have, like, a ton in here to read. But obviously it's very fantasy heavy, which I feel is kind of usually the opposite for people in the summertime. But I always say that summertime in Florida is kind of like people's wintertime in other states because it is so hot. So I spent a lot of time, like this weekend, I don't know what we're going to do. I really wanted to go to a water park or go somewhere, but the UV index is supposed to be super high. So I'm a little bit hesitant. It depends on what I feel like doing. But those are what I'm going to be reading this month. I hope I hit all of them. I've never actually, like, usually I'm a very big mood reader and then I just kind of pick up whatever and I'm not super thrilled, but this is like the first time in a while that everything I've picked I'm actually really, like, I can't wait to read it. But yeah, so that's gonna be the end of the, I cannot talk, I'm so sorry. I'm so excited to talk about books and cosplay and everything, you guys. That's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you subscribed and stays tuned, at least to hear my thoughts next month on all of these. My goal is to get all of them done. But yeah, so I hope to see you guys in the next video, and if not, I hope you have a good night, good day, good morning, wherever you're watching this.